So welcome back to Midweek. This week we are going to be talking about the gospel and its impact in our lives as being the antidote to sin. And so this week, defining our terms, I gave you the whole lesson plan, so I'm not going to rehearse that here. If you didn't have the full-on lesson, I would often talk about some of the elements in that here. So I hope that you read that, check that out. Our discussion questions are in there. The one thing that I'm hoping to get out of it, even as we break from large group and go into small group, is the idea that the gospel isn't just the death, burial, and the resurrection. That is the exclamation point on the reality that the gospel did work, that the very, 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 very good news of Jesus Christ is true when he overcame the grave, demonstrating his power over sin, and the resurrection, proving that his life was pleasing to God. That was like the exclamation point on a life lived out of the gospel. And what is the gospel? It's the good news. And in a world that is surrounded by bad news because of sin, Jesus Christ offers us the antidote to that sin. And our students need to know that because they're going through life like we are, and they need to know how the gospel message not only impacts their future in eternal heaven and eternal earth, but how does it affect them in their relationships in school? How does the gospel impact their mental well-being, their psyche, their relationships, the way they respond to certain things? The gospel has its impact in everything that we do and how we interact with a world that is around us that is fallen and also a part of the world that is being redeemed. What does it mean to be a citizen of the kingdom of heaven? What does it mean to be a son or daughter of the King? And how does the influence of God in and through our lives impact us? The way we process information, the way we relate to one another, the way that our moral compass is aligned, stuff like that. So the gospel has its full impact in everything that we do. And I just want to share something with you that I read from my morning devotion. It was in 1 Thessalonians chapter 2. And I'm going to read it to you, but it's a Greek and English Bible, so it's in Greek and it's literally translated into English, so it reads choppy. But for me, it slows me down, makes me think. So this is what Paul said. Having received word, hearing from us of God, you accepted not word of humans, but as it is truly word of God, which also works in you the believing. And that is what we're preaching tonight. The idea that if they receive the word of God, not from the small group leaders that have been sent to communicate it, but if they hear this as it is truly the word of God, and they accept it, not the word of humans. In our world, humans speak loudly, and we and our students are often convinced by the word of humans, and it's the word of God that counteracts the word of humanity that gives us truth. So they receive the word of God, which also works in the believing. And that's the part that I really was focused on this morning. The idea that the word of God works. It works itself out in those who believe. And that's our hope, is that we spend week in and week out, year after year with our students, that the word of God penetrates their lives and it begins to work itself out in those who believe. And so that's our opportunity and our privilege tonight, is to present the word of God and discussion topics, cause them to think or to rethink things, to challenge their thought process, so that they would truly receive the word as it is the word of God. So that is our prayer for our time tonight, our gathering in large group and also small group. So I hope that it goes well, and look forward to hearing about how it went. See you tonight.